Keegan the Vlog here. Welcome to a special episode of TR3 Wrench Time. Today we're on our way back over to George's house. Now George is the guy who sold me the Ferrari 308 back in January. And if you go back to that video, you may have noticed a very large thing under a very large tarp or several tarps in his backyard at that time. That is a Tatra amphibious vehicle. And George is also a military hardware collector. So in addition to the motorcycles and cars that he has in his arsenal, he also has a couple of really interesting military vehicles, one being this amphibious Czech vehicle. He recently sold the Tatra, and as part of the conditions of the sale, he is having it recommissioned. So it's been sitting for a while and it needs to be gone through by a professional diesel mechanic. I mean, kind of like a boat, we're gonna recommission this thing. It's gonna be interesting. So I've brought along some filming equipment, and I got the drone with me today. We're gonna get some aerial footage of this thing, and we are going to recommission a Tatra amphibious vehicle. Cool. Have to do a little intro of this thing. Give me some details on it. This is the first time that I've seen this vehicle uncovered. When I bought the Ferrari, it was under that tarp. I've seen pictures on the internet, but nothing really prepares you for the scale of this thing. And here's the first look inside. Interesting driving position. Not quite easy to get into. Those are propellers. Look at that.
We'll do 7 knots in the water when I have the barrels for them. One of them is in there now, and the gunner sits in that seat there.
This is very Star Wars.
Great kid! Don't get cocky!
So what are the hooks for on the back here? Is this for hanging ammo?
I think for hand grenades.
Hand grenades?
I think so.
So you can throw hand grenades from out of this thing. All right.
Yeah, these hatches open up.
Okay.
And we can open up those in a little bit.
Yeah. There's a motor, it looks like, with a drive belt.
Yeah, that's for the NBC filtration system, nuclear, biological, chemical weapons filtration system.
They expected this thing to survive a nuclear attack?
Yes.
Wow. That's impressive. And here we get a look at the engine for the first time. This is a 12-liter, 8-cylinder, air-cooled diesel without glow plugs. And that's going to be a problem here shortly.
Do that and push it out, and it's good to go.
And then this whole thing is a nice little shield to stand behind,
Yes.
eh? Yeah.
Yep.
Unlock it this way. Look at that. This. Here we elevated it. Now we open that. Move it this way, move it this way. Let's turn it this way. The whole seat moves with it too. It's amazing.
Right.
Lock this in place. That's awesome.
It's heavy.
There's some lighting. Look at this. Moving into the cockpit, we're going to have George explain some of the controls here. All right, so it's got an infotainment system here.
Yeah, I put video in.
Yep.
There's a rear video and there's a video on each side. If you can see, there's one just outside the door over there.
Yes. Wow, that looks like it's supposed to be there.
Thank you.
Nice work.
It was very difficult drilling through the heart.
Believe it. What in the world does this turn?
That blue handle goes into it. You can see the blue handle there. Yeah, clips into the.
Clips into here.
Clips into there, and it deploys the front. There's a front splash shield for when you're going into the water.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Here are, these look like hydraulic controls.
Yes, they're actually air controlled.
Air controls, okay.
Yeah, for the propellers, for the second air compressor, for the central tire inflation system, and for the front and rear differentials.
Compressor. This is amazing. This is an interesting driving position, but you actually can see out.
Yes.
Cool. This is awesome. We're gonna have to get the drone up in the air and get some aerial pictures of it with all the doors and stuff open.
And that graphic for Tatra, I did that.
You made that?
I made that, yeah.
Wow, that looks really good.
Thank you. That's what I used to teach: graphic design, 3D modeling, and animation.
No
and
kidding.
stuff like that, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
What is there?
Compass.
Is there a gauge that went there?
A compass.
Oh, compass. Okay.
But I needed something there, so.
Yeah, that's good.
And there's the red knob stick is for high and low range.
Okay.
The rudders controls are the blue ones here.
Okay.
The little stick there with the black knob on top, right there, is for to put air in or release air from the tires, as they're designed to be altered in combat depending on the terrain.
Mm-hmm. So is this a fuel tank selector?
No, that's for. It has something to do with going in the water. I don't know what it is.
Exactly.
And those knobs there are to pressurize individual tires.
Oh, you can
select the tires.
Individual tires.
Right.
Interesting. Where is the transmission shifter? Is that this?
Yes.
This is the transmission shifter.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a progressive transmission. It's a Wilson pre-select transmission, and you don't have to push the clutch in to change gears. What you do is you change gears and then push the clutch in, and then when you release it, it changes to the next gear. So you can't grind the gears or do anything like that. And the 15 is for tonnage.
This thing weighs 15 tons?
Yes.
Oh my god. That's just cool.
Yeah, don't lower the gun or you won't be able to turn it.
Right.
Because the hatch is open.
Alright, we've got the drone up in the air, and here's a look at just how big this vehicle is. 15 tons. A 12-liter air-cooled V8 diesel. It's just absolutely stunning how big this thing is. And we're about to play the third most popular game on the internet, Will It Start? So the first is unboxing, the second is ass or elbow, look it up, and the third is Will It Start?
Alright, riding in.
Ready?
Yep.
So all 8 injectors have been bled at this point, so the next trick we're going to try is pressurizing the fuel tank. Using the bag to
Make a seal out of it.
George has to get back. Yep.
No joke. We decided to give it a little shot of ether here. Alright, welcome to the next day. So, not exactly successful yesterday getting the Tatra to start. It would run on ether, which means that we've got compression, we've got air. Now we're just dealing with fuel problems. So, we think the diesel injection pump has been bled satisfactorily. So, we crack the injector nozzles 2 at a time, and fuel is squirting out of all of them, and we're getting progressive smoke out of the exhaust while the engine is motoring. So it goes from just random smoke to puffs to rings. So we know there is compression. We think the best theory right now is that the diesel that is in the system is bad. We evacuated the tank and replaced all the diesel in the tank with fresh diesel. However, the pump itself is pretty big, and there may be a gallon of diesel in that pump itself that we've got to get through before this thing is going to start. So our plan today is to motor the engine a little bit longer and see if we can get it to start under its own power, and if not, we're going to crack the injectors, all 8 of them, and progressively tighten them down while the engine is turning over. So that'll probably be my job, though I might get somebody else to do that so I can fly the drone. So there's going to be quite a few people, including the prospective buyer. So we may get a chance to meet the prospective buyer and maybe make arrangements to come see the truck, get a progress report on it after. I believe he's going to paint it. So I would really, really, really like to show this thing post paint job. All right, so we're back on our way up to George's. It's a new day, so we bleed the injectors. Notice no smoke while the injectors are cracked.
Everybody ready?
Yes, sir. All clear. Nothing on this side.
Okay, cool. You definitely got fuel.
Yeah, we've got fuel now at the injectors. We did
The healthy belch.
All right, we got close that time, but still not quite running on its own. What we are going to try next is we got a heat gun out, and we are going to blow hot air into the intake as this thing is turning over and see if we get somewhere.
Ready?
Yeah.
And over the next several hours, we tried a bunch of different things. We re-bled everything twice. And we still got it to run motor over on the ether. And just couldn't get it to keep running. So the bilge pump is engine driven, and what you just saw was we had this thing running long enough for the bilge pump to work.
Inside the dome.
And here's me figuring out that that's just water.
Fuel pressure being pumped from the fuel pump to actuate the spring. Okay, well that wasn't quite the finale that we wanted with that one, but hey, that's how these things go sometimes. Really not sure what we're going to try next. We're on hold until next weekend. Everybody's gotta go to work, so so next weekend we are going to try to regroup, and in the meantime, George is going to get in touch with Tatra Motorsport up in Canada, and he's got a contact up there. Let them in on what we're seeing, the conditions that we're seeing, and what we've tried so far, and see if they have any suggestions. Now, we have verified fuel at what I was calling the injectors. That's actually a rail. So there is still a space in between where the fuel line fittings are going into the cylinder head and the injector itself. So it's possible that we have not completely bled this thing. We think it is now down to a quantity or a quality problem with the fuel. Either we don't have enough fuel to go boom, or the fuel that we have is not enough of diesel or combustible material to go boom. I don't know, any diesel mechanics out there that are watching, if you've got any suggestions on how to get this thing going, we'd love to hear it, and we would love to see this thing running, especially George, because I think you saw the prospective buyer was involved and is a diesel mechanic himself, so he was over helping us today. I'm sure we're going to get this thing going at some point. Just kind of a letdown today. It was a beautiful day. We got to fly the drone. Everything was looking up, and just not quite enough mental capacity to figure this thing out. So, hey, sometimes you eat the bar, or sometimes the bar eats you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.